Right, guys, I was up early this morning, about 5 o'clock. I've been into town. I had to get the bus at 7:30 to go and pick up the car, and I got the windscreen replaced because it was smashed. I think it was maybe a tile off the roof or snow. I usually park it away from where the snow comes down off the roof, but I was just charging the battery up because there was like hardly any snow left on the roof, hardly anything. So it might have been a tile. I don't know what it was. Anyway, so it's been cracked ever since winter, and so I've got it done now, and I had to wait for a while for the part. Once decided to go and get it done. Anyway, it's done now. So I was on the bus this morning, and I was talking to the lady in the garage, in the windscreen place, about. I said, "What do you think of the euro?" And nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. Anyway, it's gonna happen now by the look of it. And, it won't be a great thing. Even they've said here, I was just reading them, that the houses have gone shot up 18% because of the euro, and not even in it yet. And I thought that would happen because if people want to get rid of the levs that they kind of maybe not supposed to have. I don't know how they declare stuff here and all the rest of it. A lot of people have a lot of cash, and I just went for an explore actually up another valley. It's all valleys around here, valleys and mountain passes and all the rest of it. So there's one where you go up the mountain pass, but there's a valley off the other side. It's kind of opposite ours. Beautiful place. Their river's a bit bigger than ours. Ours is kind of a little bit smaller than most valleys. Ours is a valley off a valley, actually. Anyway, and I like valleys. I like valley life because you're a cul-de-sac, so it's quiet and well, it isn't here. It's always busy here. I don't know why. It's there's always something going on, and in a valley, everyone's somebody. Everybody's somebody, and it's valley upon valley upon valley right into town actually, which is a great big valley in itself. And then once you get out of that, it's a little bit of a plain, but it's still a river valley, a massive one, with plains either side. Anyway, and it goes all the way to the Danube, our river. So it looks like the builders. I can't work out what's happening next door. He's left a section of wall down. They've just put the first stones on it. It looks like he stopped them from building my boundary because we had a deal where we were going to swap some land, and then he said he was going to buy the land off me, and I said, well, you're not, unless I get like the strip of land at the side of the house. And I think he was a bit like miffed, so he said, right then. And I said, why don't you want to swap? And he didn't really want to talk about it. Anyway, he just said, no, I don't want to. And I said, well, I'm not selling you the land. But now that wall's up, the boundary wall, because he terraced the land back, but he's built a wall at the bottom of the terrace. So that's even made it smaller. his plot where his house is going to go, and it really does look quite small now because of the walls. And he's built a wall like from the other neighbour. I think the face of the wall's about a metre away from the boundary. Well, the walls are a metre thick, on 500 millimetres, and that's about another 500 millimetres to the other neighbour's fence. And the same with my boundary as well. He's built the wall to the other side of the boundary. Anyway, and he's lost maybe not quite a metre, but not far off, about 3/4 of a metre off my side as well, on the terrace. So it's like all closing in basically, and it's looking like a bit tight now to put a house on there. Anyway, but so he's left a section of the wall down, which leads into my land, which I cleared, so it looks a lot bigger. So maybe he's planning to make another counter offer, but there's no way that I'm gonna. I'll suggest to him that we do an agreement where we don't change the deeds or anything. We just swap. We just give each other the right to swap, and it'll be a lot cheaper that way. Much cheaper than changing all the deeds and swapping everything over, because I'd have to do the same and he'd have to do the same. So that's what I would say to him if he comes back again. But I'm guessing that's why he's left it down. I don't know. Maybe he wants to get a mini digger up round through my land again, up to the back, to backfill behind these walls. I don't know. But they put a what's his name in? Oh, Mr. Noisy's here now. They've got this, one of the builders, I think he's the main head honcho, and he just never stops talking and ranting. Never shuts up. Only when he's eating or sleeping. He's one of those type of people. Noisy. You can hear him from me. It's like you might be able to hear him in the background. So that's another job done with the car, and this is how we operate here. We just do things bit by bit. And I've had quite a lot of expenses this year, but like the budget is still looking okay. And I haven't cut back on anything really. I've just had a few more expenses. So normally I do like €5,000, right? That's the basic living. That's with everything, running a car, internet, everything. And I could maybe one expense each year. And we actually had a bit of a more expensive holiday in January to Sicily, and that's included as well. And I'm still going to come in at around about €8,000 for the year total, everything. And I've just had to pay for this windscreen as well on the car. And so, these things add up. But when you look at 5,000 to 8,000, that's €3,000 more than last year. And like, some of it was healthcare. I had an operation and I had to pay for that. I was in hospital. And dental work as well. And it all adds up. But like, to get to €3,000, you've got to have quite a few expenses here in Bulgaria, because things aren't that expensive. I would say the eating out's the biggest expense here, and I don't eat out. Never. well, say never. If I'm with someone or someone comes and visits, obviously, you're gonna, wine and dine a little bit. But I don't get many visitors these days. I lost a lot of people during the lockups because I was again against the narrative, against the grain, and people didn't like it. And now they don't talk about it. They can't discuss it, and they tend to still to this day. And I've heard other people on the internet as well say they lost people then and they haven't come back because they can't bring themselves to say, well, I don't know. They don't say the right or the wrong. They just don't. They just avail of silence. The whole thing just stopped one day, and that was it. Nobody mentions it anymore. And I've had a few people checking out, and the latest one said he had a stroke, and that's like a clot on the brain, isn't it? And that's what a lot of people were getting, these clots. It was called the clot shot. Some people called it the clot shot. And they were getting all these things in the veins. These the veins just filled up with this stringy, like DNA, changing the DNA of the body. Anyway. But we won't talk about it. And like, I've got a family member who won't come back, and which is a shame. But like, fanatical, absolute fanatic. A coronatarian, that's what I used to call them. Coronatarian, but they don't mention it. No one mentions it. But none of them. The medicine's still available. If you want to get it, if you want to keep up with the medicine, but nobody does. I wonder why that is. That's just surely that's not an admission. It's a statement, at least in itself. Because nobody said it's like it's gone away. No, nobody mentioned anything. It's finished or anything like that. No, nothing was mentioned. Nothing was mentioned about anything. It just they ran out of road. They ran out of variants and variations and like what it can do and can't do. They went through the whole spectrum of and who can catch what off who, and if you've had medicine or not. And they went through the whole lot, and in the end it couldn't. You couldn't have any more variants or anything like that. And people were starting to check out who had the medicine, and I think a lot of people have anyway. So I'm in the Gant number today. This is like a denim number, and it's a Gant shirt in good quality. And this is as good as the day I bought it. And I bought this years and years and years ago in Montreux, in Switzerland. Montreux, that's where they have. It's on Lake Geneva. There's a statue of Freddie Mercury there, from Queen. And it's a good statue, actually, right at the end of the lake. Because they used to hang around there, Queen. They used to have a recording studio there. And they like going there, and probably Freddie Mercury was behind it. He loved it. And I bought this shirt in Montreux. And I remember when in, it was a Gant shop. Well, mostly the Gant stuff is its own shop. And I remember the guy in there, he was proper like, suit you, sir, suit you. He said, oh yeah, this is for the autumn collection. That's what he said. I'll never forget. He said that this, and it wasn't that expensive, really. and everyone's in the mountains. It was like surreal. Switzerland. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not into the whole concept of Switzerland, where everyone's grassing each other up, and you can't go and flush the toilet after 10 o'clock because it makes a noise, and also they've got and it's like I find it very sterile. I've been through Switzerland quite a few times, and Geneva, didn't think much of that. And Montreux, it's like you've got this lake set in the mountains. Everyone's walking around in suits, and like proper, like $1,000 suits. I don't know whether they were having a conference there or whatever. And I just found it. It's hang on a minute. You're in this like Swiss cheese setting with the mountains and all these railways up the mountains and the lake. Everyone's walking around in suits and ties. It's like if you ever see anyone on the beach in a suit and tie. It just doesn't look right, and that's what it was like. Switzerland, not for me. That all this regimental stuff, not for me. People love it. That everything's like, pristine, and there's no. But I think it's kind of sterile when you get to that point. You can have places which are pristine. Like we've just been to a place in Sicily that was quite pristine, outside Catania, Taormina, but they're well kept in other ways with plants, bougainvillea and all that, and carefully nurtured plants, which is another form of like, absolutely beautiful kept places. Switzerland is like, I don't know. It's not for me, Switzerland. I don't like it. And it's not a barrel of laughs or fun or anything like that. It doesn't look like anyway. And so we stayed actually on the French side of the lake, and there was a fantastic restaurant there. And then we went towards Mont Blanc and went up on a cable car. A place called Aiguille de Midi, halfway up Mont Blanc. And the air's thin up there. You go dizzy and like light-headed. And I remember we had something with chips, and I was like light-headed. Like, what's in these chips? And it was the altitude. And that was scary, that the cable car. Scary. I didn't like it at all. It just didn't feel right to me. Anyway. So that's the big mountain resort. What's it called? Can't remember. And it was great round there. And France. I like France for a holiday destination. It could be a bit expensive to live there, but I don't know about now. It'd be cheaper than the UK now. And it never used to be. France, it always struck me as like being a little bit more pricey, and but nice. I like France. We used to go to the Pyrenees. Our family bought a house there, and then they sold it straight away for reasons unknown. Well, I've got my kind of theories on it, but like won't go into that. Anyway, yeah, so that's and there was another I had a friend, it's a girl, she used to come in every year. She used to come to Bulgaria, and she went fanatical on Jeremy Corbyn. And I kind of said, I think at that time it was Obama was president and Trump was coming onto the scene. And we kind of it got a bit political, and then she went full on fanatic because she met Jeremy Corbyn a couple of times, I think, and then that was it. Then she didn't come again because we had a little bit of a to and fro about, and I never used to talk about politics, and it was unavoidable in the end. Anyway, she never come back again. So bit by bit, like, and I don't care who comes. Couldn't care less. If people want to come, fine. I invited an old friend, and he kept asking, "Can I come?" I'm still invited. I'm thinking, like, well, unless you've got uninvited. Anyway, he hasn't been. So yeah, so the lockups, that got rid of a lot of people, a hell of a lot, and people here as well. I used to kind of catch up with certain people who've got places here, and because of my attitude with the lockups, they backed off. They never seen them again. And we used to be very, very regularly, catch up, and because they don't live here, and they used to just come and then they go like around, visit people, and my area's like quite nice. Well, I think it is anyway. And they used to come down this end, and we used to, we'd go out to the places around here. Just, it was a change for them, And they used to have kids. They used to go have river safaris. They loved it. Used to take them up the river, and you could walk up the river. Used to take the dog, actually, the little village dog, and go for river safaris when it was hot like this. And I haven't been on one this year. I did 2 last year with the dog, and the dog's getting a bit like old, and I'm getting older, so we haven't done it this year. I went to a couple of places the other day with the neighbour to see some river pools. He was showing me where some river pools were. So yeah. So that's what we're up to here. Like, not much, because it's baking hot at the moment. It's only, well, it's still early this morning, and it's 23 degrees now. So that was, the hottest time of the day is 4 o'clock. I don't know why, but it is. And it's documented, I'm not just making it up. That's the hottest time of the day in Bulgaria. Don't know whether because of the latitude. I always thought it was midday. Everything always used to go on, the heat of the midday sun and all that. But it's 4 o'clock on the dot here. The hottest time of the day. Without question, it's not a theory. It's like, that's what it is. Anyway, so Bulgaria remains EU leader in low government debt. Debt to GDP, the lowest in Europe. So that's good. I can hear this builder. I don't know where he is. Never stops yapping and loud. I mean, I know I'm talking now, but like, he's loud. They're one of these loud people. But it's all pretty. I think it's all pretty positive stuff. He's not moaning or anything like that. But anyway, okay, guys. So that's what we're up to in BG. It's not much. Cheers.